Nigeria's oil sector's ongoing struggle to achieve a stable recovery in crude oil production amidst persistent volatility continued in August. With production at 1.71 million barrels per day in July, Nigeria has slightly surpassed its OPEC quota, marking a significant yet fragile improvement influenced by domestic refining initiatives. The operational capacity of the Dangote refinery, amongst others, allows for greater absorption of domestic production, lessening dependence on crude exports. However, this shift has resulted in declining export receipts, further exacerbating vulnerabilities in FX reserves, but production has actually shown a rebound in recent months. Mmesoma Ogbonnaya, research analyst at PAC Research, joins me now to discuss further. Great to have you on the show, Mmesoma.
Great to be here.
Yeah, so let's start with the production outlook.
Yeah.
We've seen an improvement year on year. We're doing about 1.71 million barrels compared to, I think, 1.5 the last monthly report.
Yeah.
So what is really accounting for this improvement, even though it's slight, but what factors are we seeing driving this improvement?
So, I think that the improvements are basically channeled on security. Okay. So improved security, especially with the establishment of the home community trusts. So the host communities are being, there's a trust for them, and this is basically established in the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021. This is very key to the production level. So security is being, improved. Yeah.
Yeah, but we've had the Petroleum Industry Act since 2021, and we've had a mixed trajectory of different production profiles, up, down, pretty volatile. So there surely has to be other factors that have recently accounted for the most recent surges we've seen in production.
So, like I said, it was enacted in 2021, but that actually, the host community trust did not start till last year.
Okay.
So it was there, but it was just a paper, so they actually enacted and started putting it into practice last year. So you saw the integration of 162 communities, which is still, shaky. We're still looking at the government to, put to practice all of these policies, to protect these communities and ensure that they're integrated into the security policies and benefits from the operations of the oil companies. Okay,
so let's drill down a bit further. Let's look at some of the terminal output. Bonny was up by 12.7%. Brass was up by over 20%. So that's a huge disparity, actually. What is accounting for some of these disparities?
So you could actually liken it to management schedules. So they would schedule, to maintain these facilities to ensure that they are running appropriately. So during those situations, they will not be able to, take out as much as they would normally. They will not be able to fulfill their full capacity. So management
schedules of the IOCs, or who exactly?
No, the Bonny terminals, the terminals basically.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So because the terminals are obviously operated by
another thing is also security conditions of these areas. So like the Port Harcourt unrest, which actually resulted in a few levels of loss from crude oil. So they've reduced, they lost a lot because of the unrest in that area. That actually accounts for reduced.
Yeah, and just looking broadly at the NNPCL strategy, the government strategy, the efforts by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, what are some of are there technology or other types of interventions they are making, and which ones are proving really effective to help support Nigeria's production profile in the medium term?
Okay, so like I said, so there are a lot of policies that could actually improve production, but these practices, these policies, not being just on paper, we need them to see them in action. We need to actually see the government doing what these policies have, outlined. Like I said earlier, that the policy of the host communities just starting out in 2024, which actually should have started in 2021. But you see the delay and the lag in these policies coming into place.
So let's shift a bit over to sort of the macroeconomic strategy. In terms of the production profile, the global oil price outlook, the budget benchmark, all of those factors, Nigeria still is heavily reliant on FX revenues from crude oil for fiscal stability to a certain extent. Given some of the volatility we're seeing in global prices, some relative stabilization in oil output, although, it remains to be seen how much we can sustain. What sort of economic strategies should we be adopting right now to sort of manage all those variables that I've just laid out on the table?
Yeah. So it's something that is very interesting because we just need to push our refined crude, push it into FX. So we should push for more export of our refined crude and also diversify into non-oils. So we have a lot of resources. I'm talking even with the service sector, agriculture, we could actually harness all of our potentials at once and generate more FX and support the Naira.
So you're seeing almost sort of a substitution of crude oil revenues for refined product revenues, because we were...
The gap that is being lost due to our conditions to push for refined crude. So we are transferring some of our crude to refine them, and which is resulting to us losing FX. We need to substitute that loss with refined crude so that we don't actually lose out on any end.
And in terms of the refined crude potential, what is that horizon looking like from the Dangote refinery? How much are we really consuming? How much can we really export as surplus to the region or overseas?
Yeah, so I don't believe that Dangote can do it alone. We are looking at, the reestablishment of the state-owned
So when you say you don't believe Dangote can do it alone, are you saying the production from the Dangote refinery is not enough to supply Nigeria's requirement?
No, I mean that Dangote's refinery alone cannot support us locally, domestically, and also support us.
Okay.
Like, it seems unrealizable. Like, can we actually rely on Dangote to meet our FX need and as well meet our local demands of fuel? So we need to, establish and encourage more players in that field to expand our production levels. Okay,
so let's shift to something else now. Recently, the Nigeria LNG company signed 20-year feed gas supply agreements with 6 upstream producers, NNPC Shell, a few other companies, Aradel, First E&P, Oando. What is the significance of this for Nigeria's energy security and the LNG market?
Yes, I've seen that news, and I believe that is going to support us even with FX. So if we have enough feed gas to meet our manufacturing needs, would have enough to protect our domestic needs, that is energy security, and then as well to export and generate FX. We need FX to support the Naira and stabilize the economy and make us the everyday man spend less, make our Naira valuable.
Okay, thank you very much, Mmesoma Ogbonnaya, for joining us on the Global Business Report.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's good to be here.